From the moment Kaio decided to abandon me 2 days before the birth of our daughter, to run alongside his ex-girlfriend, Bianca, who, according to him, was on the verge of death, I knew that something inside me had broken forever. There was no way back, no excuse capable of erasing the pain, no argument to justify the choice he had made. His decision, so cold, so sudden, and yet so revealing, broke my heart in a way that can't be repaired. And although today, months later, I still bear the scar of his betrayal, there is also a silent peace inside me. A peace born of the realization that I made the right decision. The peace of knowing that I chose to prioritize my daughter and myself, above a man who had already proved in no uncertain terms that he didn't deserve us. But before any judgment is passed, before anyone says what they would have done in my place, I need to tell you everything from the beginning. Because yes, I've shared parts of this story before, in conversations with friends, in therapy sessions, even in posts on social media. But the deeper details, the ones that only reveal themselves with the distance of months and the clarity that time brings, those I've kept. And now, I feel I need to put them out there. I need the world to know who Kaio really was, what he did to me, what he did to his daughter. Because if there's one thing I've learned on this journey, it's that silence only serves cowards. And I'm definitely not one anymore. When he told me he had to leave because Bianca had advanced brain cancer, I didn't know how to react. He poured it all out at once, like someone delivering an inconvenient piece of mail. He said that she was alone in Lisbon, that her parents couldn't go there because her father was also ill, that she desperately needed him. I remember the look on his face, calm, almost serene, as if he had rehearsed that speech dozens of times. I, on the other hand, could barely breathe. The words got lost in my throat, tears blurred my vision. And before I could articulate any sentence that made sense, he was already closing the door behind him. And it was only then that I realized he really was going to leave me alone. Alone with an almost 9-month belly, with contractions starting, afraid, exhausted, vulnerable. Alone to deal with everything. Turn around. That's what he said to me. And those 2 words echo inside me to this day, like a punch in the gut. As if I were an inconvenient obstacle. As if I wasn't the woman he promised to build a life with. As if our soon-to-be-born daughter wasn't part of him too. My mother-in-law, D. Helena, an extraordinary woman, arrived as soon as I picked up the phone with a broken voice. She was my angel that day. She tried to call Kaio, sent him messages, tried to understand what had happened, but he turned off his cell phone. He disappeared. As if he had never existed. He only replied the next day with a coldness that was almost protocol. He sent a message saying that he was sorry for the inconvenience, but that Bianca needed him more than I did, that she was dying, that he was the only person she had, that he couldn't leave her helpless, as if I wasn't about to give birth to his daughter, as if I, in labor, wasn't important, as if my pain was small, secondary, irrelevant, and as if the universe liked to play with our resistance, the birth went ahead. The contractions came at dawn, like unpredictable waves. Kaio wasn't there. He didn't hold my hand. He didn't wipe away my sweat. He didn't hear our daughter's first cry. He didn't see her eyes open for the first time. He didn't feel the warmth of our miracle. He was too busy in Lisbon, being the hero of the story he created for himself. While I was in a cold, white room, surrounded by strangers in lab coats, with Helena squeezing my hand and trying to be everything I needed at that moment. My parents arrived in time to meet their granddaughter, but the father's seat was empty. Literally. The space reserved in my soul for that moment also went blank. A dark hole, an uncomfortable silence, an absence that no one can ever fill. And the worst thing of all, it was all a lie. All that talk of illness, urgency, desperation, it was a fabrication. Years later, I saw them. Yes, with my own eyes. I saw Kaio and Bianca in a city mall, smiling as if they had never caused anyone any pain. Holding hands with a baby in their arms, laughing as they ate ice cream. Healthy, radiant, married, as if nothing had happened. As if he hadn't destroyed an entire family with a well-told lie. as if she hadn't manipulated every detail to bring him back. And there, looking at them, I felt a mixture of anger, grief, and release. Because I was finally sure of what, deep down, I already knew. Kaio didn't leave because Bianca needed him. Kaio left because he had always belonged to her, because he was never emotionally detached from that unresolved story. Because deep down, I was just Plan B. He used me as a consolation, as an attempt to move on with someone who wasn't her. And when the first opportunity arose to reconnect with the past, he didn't hesitate. It was as if he had never loved me. As if I was just a temporary shelter, a convenient belly to bring a child into the world, while he sorted out what really mattered to him. Bianca. It was always her. And that, as cruel as it sounds, freed me, because I stopped wondering where I went wrong. I stopped looking for explanations for the inexplicable. I understood that it was never my mistake. After the birth came the divorce, the custody battle, the cold papers, the arguments, the lawyers. Then came the sleepless nights, the exhaustion, the lonely cries, the insecurities. Then came the days of starting again, one after the other, with my face washed and my heart mended, trying to be a mother and a father at the same time. And I survived. Not just survived, I was reborn. I learned to love myself again, to trust myself, to build a safe home for my daughter. And just when I thought everything was finally at peace, Kaio showed up again, as if nothing had happened. He sent a message asking to see his daughter. He said he wanted to introduce her to her new little brother, as if she were a doll on a shelf, as if all those years of silence and abandonment hadn't left their mark. But not this time, Kaio. This time, it's my choice. And I choose to protect my daughter. I choose to give her the love you didn't know how to give. I choose to spare her the instability of a man who disappears when life demands courage. I choose to be the shield between her and the suffering you have caused. Because she deserves more, much more. She deserves an example of strength, affection, and presence. And if that man isn't you, then you don't belong in our world. Not now, not tomorrow, not ever. For the first time in a long time, this choice doesn't hurt. On the contrary, it strengthens me, it frees me, and it finally prepares me to move on without you.